Let's just start with Tai Toshi. Okay, some faults with Tai Toshi. Common fault with Tai Toshi is people put their foot like this. See this? See this? See this? That won't work. Tai Toshi doesn't work. Well, I won't say it won't work. I'd say two things. One, you have a very high chance of breaking your ankle or stuffing your knee. And if the person's good, they can crush it like nothing. Okay, so just come in, just step across with your Tai Toshi. But if they've got the ankle like that, all you need to do is that, and they'll never throw you. Okay? It's not strong. Tai Toshi, if you remember nothing else with Tai Toshi, your foot has to be facing the same way their foot is. So it doesn't matter which way their foot's facing, as long as yours is the same way. So, what I mean by that, his foot's facing out there, right? If I'm doing Tai Toshi, my foot should be facing the same way as his. See that? It's flat on the ground there like that. Okay? So here, if I'm like this, push your knee down. I can't hold it up. If I'm here like this, push your knee down. He can't. If I'm like this, I can't hold it. If I'm like this, he can't. Okay? That's the way to do Tai Toshi. Bloke who showed me how to do Tai Toshi like that is a bloke called Neil Adams. I spent a year in England training with him. Direction is his, as close as you can in there. Okay? People turn their foot like this. Basically, whichever way this foot's facing, my other foot's parallel with it. So if you put your foot facing out that way a bit. So if I want to do Tai Toshi here, I can. My foot's got to be there, but this one's got to be parallel with it. Do you know what I mean? So there's no point me trying to do Tai Toshi here, because it won't work, because my balance is all over the shop. That's the foot that starts it. This is the foot that finishes it. Okay? My knees are slightly in, so I've got that spring. The only way I can use that spring is if my knees come into the centre. If they're out here, I've got no power. So both my feet facing the same way, knees come into the centre. All I've got to do, the hands will take care of themselves, yeah? Okay, whether you've got this grip, whatever, the idea is that I throw him here, and with Tai Toshi, I throw him out that way, over like my little toe. Okay, so here, so in this case, over my little toe, I bend there, and that's about where he should land. If my toe's facing this way, that means that one's got to be facing that way. I throw him over my little toe, it's there. I don't try and throw him the long way. Tai Toshi.
Body drop.
Yeah. Yeah. Or more appropriately, using our hands. So we're dropping him where he is. We're not throwing him. We're just getting across there. Okay, so how can we make that work in competition? It's a little bit tricky, Tai Toshi, so I'll show you one method. So, it relies on me getting this sleeve down here. Okay, so rather than getting up here, some people get bound up in the shoulders. Easy way to remember is I move my hand across here, my hand makes impact with his elbow will bend. The thing is here is not to push this out and away now, because when I push it out and away I get tangled up in myself. What I need to do is push it here, roll around, and I collapse my body into this, yeah? So as I step through, my foot's there, I collapse my body, instead of pushing this away and actually putting him back on balance. You feel quite unbalanced there, don't you? Yeah. If I roll this in, what about now? Not so much. Okay, so this is a more effective position of throwing from. Traditionally people say, oh, you've got to push him out and away, but you actually pushing him back on balance. He feels quite good here. If I rotate my body into that, Now he feels very vulnerable. So same thing, my feet are pointing the same way, bend. Straight down there. So obviously I'm just grabbing his wrist. When my hand comes in here, right? When I get to there, my foot's facing the same way. If I push there, actually pushing back on balance. Yeah? So I'm here. What I do rather than pushing back on balance, this looks good, it looks all fancy and all that, but it's not really effective. What I need to do is pull this arm and collapse into that. Okay, so you tell me which way you feel more off balance. So here, is here, feel quite unbalanced there. Collapse that through, turn my head. Yeah, have a try, guys.